late, so let's get it started. We meet at the panel discussion, opportunities of the Polish ecosystem, why Poland is the best place for Belarus business. My today's guests are Mr. Marcin Nowacki, Vice President of the Union of Entrepreneurs and Employers. The second guest is Mr. Piotr Palutkiewicz, Vice President of Warsaw Enterprise Institute. And also Mr. Mariusz Sagan, Head of Strategy and Investor Relations Department from Lublin Municipal Office. Since the fall of 2020, we observed the large influx of Belarusian companies to Poland, and mostly due to political, economic, and social reasons, also business reasons. And right now, according to the latest statistics from the Polish Economic Institute, we have over 11,000 of Belarusian companies operating in Poland but originated from Belarus. That's regarding statistics. And I think Lublin is third or fourth largest recipient city in terms of Belarusian business coming to Poland. Right after Warsaw, Białystok, Wrocław, and Gdańsk, or Tri-City. I think you have there about 500 companies or over operating in Lublin. Could you please, Mariusz, could you please describe this environment? What type of companies do you have? How do they operate? And also, please tell us how you encourage and support business coming to your city.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the invitation and for these questions.
Thank you for coming from remote Lublin.
It's not so remote. Come on, it's 1 hour 45 minutes by motorway. It's not too bad.
Actually, this is the reason I decided to invite Mariusz, because we wanted to show that there is many hotspots on Polish map. That not only Warsaw and Kraków and Gdańsk are on this map, and there is many smaller cities which are worth of considering when we speak about investments.
Exactly. So first of all, yes, we do have the Belarusian companies. In Lublin, we have about 100, not 500, 500 in the region. And there are two centers for the Belarusian companies in the region. Biała Podlaska, of course, because of the localization on the main road from Minsk to Warsaw, and Lublin because of what? This is a good question. I think that there are three main reasons for the presence of the companies from Belarus. One reason is that Lublin is developing and is trying to create high-tech science and high-tech ecosystem. Maybe it's not so known like Kraków or Wrocław, of course not like Warsaw, but we are working very hard as a city to build strong roots for the high-tech development. The second reason is the instruments that we have in the city, in the region, to support the companies, high-tech companies, startups. And Lublin is located in eastern Poland. There are special funds for that part of Poland, dedicated and available from the different kind of taxonomical levels, from the government level, from the regional level. And there are money on the table in Lublin, and that is why also Belarusian startups are coming to take money from the pool. Startups, but also established companies. And the third factor is that we have very strong presence of the Belarusian students and the families now. I was discussing this in the couloirs. Usually, Belarus students, companies were going directly from Minsk or other cities to Warsaw because there is this road line. Some of them, they were turning right to Białystok, and of course now they are spreading over Poland, but not going to Lublin, which is on the left side on this main road for your country. So in 2016, we as a city hall, we decided that we have to fight more and more for the Belarus. Lublin used to be and still is, forgive me this expression, the specialist on Ukraine. We are specializing in Ukraine for many reasons, also historical reasons. We are the key hub for the Ukraine support now, and we have the established relations. But in 2016, I decided with the mayor that we have to also go to Belarus, and we started to establish links, different kind of links with the cities, with the city of Minsk, with the city of Vitebsk, with the universities, with the technological parks, and the key goal was to start any kind of project. We were not very successful, to be honest, because you know what happened after 2020, the pandemic and the revolution. But what we achieved, we were able to change the movement of the potential students from Minsk to Belarus to Warsaw, and some of them turned left to Lublin. And now we have 1,100 students from Belarus, and we want to have 2,000 in the next couple of years. So, three elements: high-tech science, developing economy, instruments, money, money for incubation, money for startups, and the third one, the Belarusian community that we have because of the students and their families. Short answer for the short question.
Thank you for this answer. Martin, your organization, the Union of Entrepreneurs and Employers, answered to the exodus of Belarusian companies very immediately. And you've been able, you managed to open a business for Belarus Center, Belarus Business Center, which is operating until now. Could you please tell us about Belarusian needs in Poland, maybe even comparing to the needs of Ukrainian companies, which we also are assisting?
Thank you, Bogusław. So let me move back to summer 2020. I mean, I know, historically, I know Belarus quite well. So I was traveling back and forth throughout last decade, I think quite a lot. I'm an expert in getting visas. It was at the time, I think 2012, 2010, it was super difficult to get a visa from Poland as a Polish citizen to go to Belarus, but I've made it. And in summer 2020, because of some links with business leaders in Minsk, you could feel that already the capital was moving out. So companies still stayed in the country, but the capital, bank accounts were actually going out of the country. And speaking to some of the leaders, you could feel that there is there's something happening. There is not just a feeling, but an open discussion how to mitigate number of risks, how to meet possible challenges that can come to not just to companies, but mostly to employees, to your staff members. And there was a growing demand, actually, with every day, from the people, from the staff of large companies, to have a possibility to weigh the way to go abroad. And this is how we got involved. At that time, we were also very close with Minister Jadwiga Emilewicz, who was responsible for economic issues here in Poland. And they also had this understanding that attracting Belarusian people, making sure that they can find a space and safety that was mentioned before here in Poland is in our interest. So we started initially with the city of Łódź. This is the city where I did some of my businesses, also exited some of my businesses successfully. So I've spent 13 years, so it was easy for me to approach the city hall in Łódź. And we did a deal that we're going to work together in an initial phase of potential relocation of businesses from Belarus to Poland. And we did it. I mean, in the meantime, we were working, Bogusława, you were involved historically to create Bogusława was very much at the core of creating the Poland Business Harbor regime. Our colleague from the Warsaw Enterprise Institute, Adam Eberhard, was actually I would say, the one who came with the idea of the regime at that time to operate this way. And we did it. Actually, in fall 2020, we did the first, I don't want to call the name of the company, the first relocation or investment, I would say, because they stayed, at that time, they stayed in Belarus too, a large investment of an IT company in Poland, and the company went to Łódź. So the program we did between ZPP and the City Hall in Łódź really has worked well. Michał Pietranek is there from the City Hall of Łódź. It's a super successful story. The company has developed from Łódź to Warsaw, Gdańsk, has beautiful large business presence in the city. And then we decided we're gonna continue. We want to do it in a longer perspective. Also to make sure that the business climate here in Poland towards Belarusians is a proper one. And then another, I would say, stage of our activities, February 2022. As you know, that was the date that started for you. It was the second wave of Belarusians leaving the country in a relatively short period of time, including some of corporate decisions of those top tier companies to leave Belarus at the corporate level, to leave their offices, although some of the staff members are still even today working from Belarus, and this is accepted by a number of European clients, which is good. And then we started to actually, we gathered a team, ended up with a team of 3 people working only on building the ecosystem for Belarusian companies, for Belarusian people, and making sure that they understand well Poland as a country. Poland is, of course, relatively easy place to do business if you come from the region. It's tax-wise, it's more attractive than Western Europe. It is definitely not more attractive than what you used to have in Minsk, in Belarus, what Ukrainian companies used to have or still have in Ukraine. Our taxes are higher, but still very competitive for European standards. So, of course, geography helps. We are close historically, we understand each other quite well. Then the tax and legal environment is quite, I think, clear, especially if you work as an individual or you run a limited company. This is rather easy. Taxes are complicated, but rather low. So if they are complicated, this is where we can be, and we are, our team is at your disposal. Finally, the scale of the market. Poland has a large corporate market to work with. So for a number of course, you've come here with established relations at the European level with the US, but entering, as I know, some of the Belarusian companies, they entered Poland, and finally at some period they served and they are serving Polish clients or international clients based, headquartered here in Warsaw. So the domestic market also is an attractive factor that needs to be counted. And finally, access to finance. I don't think we are the best at it in terms of access to finance, access to funding, especially with sanctions. We all know some of the difficulties to even open an account, to get regular financing. The venture market is still developing, and I'm afraid that it has developed in a way that it's easier to get funding for like major companies. If you're looking for a funding of 10 million euros or more, I see the potential from my experience to get it easier than if you are a purely startup company. So this is the challenge, but of course, operating globally is the answer, not just for you, for Polish founders as well, to look at different markets, different ecosystems.
Thank you, Martin, for this summary. And Piotr, another statistic. Last year, within 12 months of last year, Polish social insurance institution ZUS claimed the increase in the number of foreigners insured in Poland. We had about 64,000 citizens of other countries registered in our ZUS system. And what was surprising is that the first biggest group was not Ukrainians but Belarusians. There was 13,000 of Ukrainians, and on first place were over 21,000 of Belarusians. And this means an increase of over 20% year by year. And on the other hand, Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs decided to suspend already mentioned Poland Business Harbor program, which de facto means the closure of the program. So my question is it good decision? Will we be able, as a Poland, to keep our attractiveness, our beautiful potential for Belarusian companies?
No, that was a bad decision. However, Poland is becoming a very attractive country when it comes to immigration, and we need new immigrants. We need more workforce in our country, and this will become one of the biggest challenge for the next decades. Like the demography of Poland is going down, the number of births is record low. So if we won't open our country for the foreigners, for the immigrants, there will be some threats to the economy. I'm talking about the labor market. Today it's difficult to find employees, especially in the biggest city as Warsaw. There will be less consumers in the few decades, so there will be another threat for the domestic market. There will be a problem in schooling, there will be a problem in our social security system, so we have to do something with the demography. But our fertility programs which were developed in the recent years, they don't have any positive results. So we have to open our borders for the new immigrants, and again, answering your question, that was a bad decision to close that Polish business harbor. We need to be open not only for our east neighbors as Belarus and Ukraine. We have to find some new countries and open more wider the doors to work in our country and to set up a business in our country. Of course, there are some political challenges when it comes to that issue, because as you probably heard in the media, every time we are talking about migration, there are some far right-wing political parties that are saying that we are too open, that stability of uniqueness, or the clear Polish. This is a threat that we have got the foreigners of. This is the far right narrative that we. That they are saying that's a threat for our country, for our ethnicity, and that we should be more, our borders should be more closed. And I think this is not the economically good narrative for our country. We have to be more open, and we have to do something with our demography. So that's the conclusion.
Just a follow-up to somehow with a positive message. I agree that we need to stop mixing up illegal and legal immigration. This is the trouble, especially in the times of campaigning. Campaigning is taking place. It will take place for another year and 2 months. But the good thing is that last week the Ministry of Internal Affairs, I guess, presented a draft bill on immigration, and that's a very positive, draft, at least for now. So hopefully there is the understanding within, I think general society and our leaders, especially business leaders that push that we need to have a kind of clear, long-term scheme of immigration. And this bill addresses a number of issues that we raised for many years. So my hope is that we're gonna come up with the scheme for all of migrants. And we don't need Poland Business Harbor anymore, because it's going to be so easy for all of those needed in Poland, those welcomed, having ideas and work opportunities to come. So this is perhaps the way to somehow bypass the freezing of the Poland Business Harbor, because I see the potential coalitions across the country, across sectors, also political groups, to make it happen.
Yeah, but I could agree that maybe I was not clear that we shouldn't be open and allow everyone to go to our country, and there is, I think, a consensus in the Polish society that wide opening of the borders for the North Africa countries is a bad decision, and results in the problems in a few decades. For example, looking at the example of Germany, France, or Sweden. But anyway, some predictable migration policy is something that is expected by the business and is expected by the society. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. So let's get back towards Mariusz. From your perspective, from the perspective of regional city, what else can we offer to Belarusian investments in Poland? What else can be done? Have you thought about new instruments which would be supporting the inflow of Belarusian business to Poland?
Yes, I would say that the city should do more for the Belarusian business, the city authorities. Because the system that my colleagues were describing previously was working pretty good. Now we are expecting new solutions, but this is the governmental level. I'm not the minister, I'm the guy responsible for the relations with the investors. And I know when the investors are coming to the city or not coming, what do they expect? Most of the Belarusian companies coming to Lublin, I don't know, because they were not visiting the city searching for any help. Most of them, because there are IT companies, they went to the incubators, to the technological park to get the money that are everywhere. But few companies came to my office, the companies from the production sector. And I give you an example of what they wanted from the city. First of all, they came from Belarus, well, as refugees, I have to say that. So they took the families, they took money, and they wanted to start a new life. So we helped them to set up the company, to register the company. We helped them to establish relations in the business ecosystem of the city, to give them the access to the suppliers, to the another industrial partners. We helped them to rent a temporary space in one case in the office building, one case in the industrial facilities. Then we helped them to find the manager, site manager, Polish site manager, etc., etc. So they came with the really simple needs, and we, in that case, fulfilled that kind of needs. So the money are important, the instruments of support are really important, but sometimes the Belarus business is coming to the cities and it's alone. It has, of course, the friends among the companies, among the institutions like yours, but sometimes I think we as a city officials, we should do more for you. And yeah, we didn't do it in a, let's say, efficient way previously. Also because of the lack of the resources. We have to be honest as a city authorities. Some of the cities are focusing on Ukraine, on the foreign investors. Now I think in Lublin it's time to see the ecosystem of Belarusian companies and maybe to start to integrate them, to build the networks, also try to implement the different, let's say, relational solutions just to create the local ecosystem. It's not easy. I will tell you that in the case of the Ukrainian ecosystem in Lublin, it took 10 years to integrate this within the city. So I don't know, if we start today, maybe in the next 5-7 years we will have a juicy, cooperative, nice Belarusian ecosystem in Lublin.
Thank you. Martin, you wanted to add?
Yeah, to what we can do more. I mean, this is the good thing about our organization, although we are, business kind of, we are based on members, and it can be said that we ourselves are not running business right now at ZPP, but we still do our best to manage it in the way that we approach and are very close to the market. So what I see potentially is missing. We are like from the founding, the day of founding ZPP, we mostly do public affairs and lobbying. This is our core business. We represent our members' businesses towards the government, the parliament. We are present in Brussels with the office to represent towards the Commission and the Parliament as well. So basically, we can be seen as lobbyists. We even have this status in Brussels. In Poland, we have the status of employers' organization, which allows us to go openly towards the public sector and speak on behalf of our members. But starting from 2020 and Belarus, we entered a totally new sector for us, which is about business development or support of business development for companies, matchmaking. In 2022, we did the same with regards to Ukraine. And this actually market is really developing and it's changing our organization. So potentially what I see for us as a business community is to create more and more platforms like that, but not just with you, we're going to continue doing that, but to make sure that via ZPP, groups like ours, you can access also corporate contacts across Poland. And I think this is the space where we can work together, where we can be much more active to organize number of, not even large meetings, but boutique meetings where US leaders can meet Polish partners, international companies present here at the top level, Ukrainian companies. Between February 2022 and the end of last year, we've got 40,000 newly established companies with Ukrainian owners. So this is a growing community, and actually, 2023 is even more dynamic in terms of that volume than the year before. So it's growing, despite all the troubles, tensions we have, border crisis. The number of Ukrainian investors, business owners is growing, and again, for me, the vision, the idea is that we have within ZPP the platform where we integrate this community at the corporate level, at least here in Warsaw, via us, and locally via our local and regional groups. I think this is something that can be delivered. So a part of our legal services, public affairs services, we'd like to be with our feet in the area of business development. So it's attractive for you to be with us, to cooperate with us, to be in our family because of matchmaking and high-level contacts. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are about to end this interesting discussion, but there is something regarding PBH program I wanted to ask. Because Martin, you said that there is on the table interest in the proposal of the Act on Immigration, but that may take time, like at least a few months or something. And PBH is suspended, and there are many Belarusian companies which are in need. They need transfer people, change people, and so on. Do you perhaps, you or Piotr, or maybe we all together, do you plan to address this issue to the Polish government decision makers? I think our audience is very interested. What would be the next step?
So, I mean, I'm oriented into the market. You are the market. You tell me whether Poland Business Harbor is still the issue for you, or it played the role and it's not needed anymore. So, in a way, of course, we spoke to the Minister of Foreign Affairs on actually the 3 days after they suspended the program. What's the situation? We were surprised by that. It wasn't expected. But we need to get the data and feedback from you, whether this is the scheme that you are looking forward to use again at some stage, or you are okay to use the general scheme for immigrants in Poland. Of course, PBH was unique, I think, at an even kind of international level, because it served, the public sector of Poland served as a service provider to business clients, right? So the company was a client. The company was basically registered, and the Polish sector was inviting your employees to get a visa. So it was super attractive in the way that it was tailored for business needs, and the business was the client. So according to our assessment and the kind of market assessment, your feedback, we're gonna either work on that, or we might see that it's not that much needed anymore. I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Piotr, Mariusz, anything to add at the end, at the very end?
I can promise that we will be lobbying this program among the Minister of Development and Technology, Mr. Krzysztof Hetman. He's a former Marshal of the Lublin region, and he is really familiar with these topics that are going on in Ukraine and Belarus. So yes.
Thank you.
Minister Hetman will be our guest for the breakfast with our members next Wednesday at our bar, of course. So we can mention that. Ask him about it. But again, in order to proceed, it's always the way we work. We need to have the pressure and the direct kind of message from companies, from the business community, I haven't used the program for a while. I did in 2020, 2021 actively. I can even share that some of the first data, that I can't say that we did it the way, but we did. I was myself sending scans of passports via the informal at that time procedure to get first visas, PBH visas. So of course I'm linked personally to the program, but again, if this is not the issue anymore and you'd like to have a kind of general scheme is attractive, works well with voivodeships, I'm okay with that.
Thank you. Piotr.
If I have the last words, we are talking about the ecosystem in Poland. We talk a lot about what government or local government can do for the business, and in the general conclusion is that we didn't mention that the government shouldn't interrupt doing the business, so it shouldn't overreact, shouldn't interfere in the market, and do the predictable policies. And the example of Polish Business Hub or the migration policies is an example of unpredictable attitude of the government, and this is something that we should, all of, not only companies but also as voters, as citizens, should oppose to.
Okay, thank you. So it seems that we as a Poland made good use of the
Unless we
info.
have some 3 minutes to
Any questions from
Poland
the
Business
audience?
Hub.
Three questions.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, thank you very much personally for your efforts, and on your behalf, thanks a lot to the whole Polish nation. And I believe these efforts shall not be forgotten among the Belarusian community here and at the back home as well. As a foreigner in UK, but in any country, I believe I'm an ambassador of my people, and the way I behave and the way I treat other people will be perceived and spread among other, on all the Belarusian people by the local people. So, in your experience, are Belarusian businesses in Poland well behaving, law abiding, or not, and to which extent?
I was always amazed by Belarusian people and the way you work. So my experiences are rather positive. The only thing is about some of political leaders or activists. But the good thing is that we are not a political group, so I should not mention that. In terms of businesses, I have worked with and individuals from Belarus. You are doing really great job, not just here, because I see you at the international arena too. And what was presented before, that stay safe now, focus on your business, and later on come back to Belarus at the time you can, is the way forward. So we are. I don't have any remarks, not positive ones, regarding the Belarusian community in Poland. You are well integrated. You can, in 80% of cases, differentiate that business is business, politics is aside. We all have our aims with regards to the development of Belarus and the future of Belarus. But doing business for you is critical, staying safe is critical, having level playing field across you, other nationals in Poland, is something we should deliver. Of course, there is an exceptional situation for Ukrainians, and it's the one to be followed. It's the special regime for Ukrainians is now extended, but that's a different case. So we're gonna be definitely in the position to make sure that Belarusians and Poland is the major country in the region to welcome Belarusians. I know what are the difficulties in Baltic states. I follow that closely. Hopefully will not, I mean, there's not going to be any leader in Poland doing similar things, somehow limiting in terms of volumes or whatever Belarusian people in Poland. So keep it going.
Yes, keep it going. And one remark, I had the pleasure to be a jury member of one of the programs supporting startups landing in Poland from abroad in the Lublin Technological Park for 2 years. Startups from 20 applications from 20 countries, and number 1 USA, number 2 Netherlands, number 3 Belarus. The quality of the application. So this is my answer to your question. Of course, we will see what will startups do in the future and how will they develop, but I mean the applications were perfect.
Lunch is waiting, right?
Yeah, lunch is
Is it lunch now?
Sergey from Microsoft. So also my personal gratitude for your efforts to help Belarusian business. But you know, the specific of Belarusian people is we will never go to the government for help. So, and I really appreciate, and I really appreciate the words that Mariusz has said. So that you have lack of resources, but we really ready to help. But the problem is we don't know where to go. So, and I would say yes, we need PBH still, and or we need something that could compensate lack of it or exit of it. But we also need to know where to go. So when we come here 2 years ago, so we just do anything ourselves. For now, we have Belarus Business Center. Thank you for this, and many others stuff that we ever try to find them, and we don't have like full information about that. So I would say that's maybe the point how we could organize. Not just you could give us help, but we could have a possibility to find it. Yeah, thank you.
Just the conclusion, like how be spokesperson of the government, like there are so many actors in the public debate that it's difficult to find or it's difficult to get to and to be heard by the government. It's obvious, but the good practice, I would say, is to organize and to make some organization that can lobbying for in that on that example for the good solutions for the Belarus business. So it's good to organize. It's good that ZPD set up the special bureau for that businesses, and this is the best attitude to be heard.
okay. So one word.
No. Okay. Your last word. No, thank you for this comment. Yes, we in the city of Lublin we are working actively with 1,000 companies. We trust them; they trust us. How could you know that I'm a person that you can trust now? Yes, you don't know me, and this audience doesn't know us, and you don't believe that the clerks, the workers of the city hall are professional. And so this is the way we have to build this trust among us. And maybe we started today, at least in Lublin.